Well, you could start finding your recall ballot in your mailbox by August 6. Election officials across the state now scrambling to get voting centers, volunteers, and ballots all in line within the next 64 days. Normally, officials will have at least 190 days to prepare for a special election, and the deadline to submit your recall candidacy is July 16th. So what is the percentage that Governor Newsom could actually be recalled? One of the top political strategists in the state and former press secretary of Gray Davis, who was the only governor in California to be recalled, Stephen Maviglio. How are you, sir? Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Well, I want to start with this. As of today, what do you think the percentage is that Newsom will actually be recalled September 14th?
Well, I think he's in the driver's seat. It's his to lose. There's so many things that could happen between now and September, but he's really used the bully pulpit of being governor to his advantage. He's marched up and down the state, hitting on all the issues that he's been attacked on, building support, building Democratic constituencies to rally behind them, warding off a Democratic challenger, which is the number one thing he had to do. And so I think right now his campaign is fueled with cash. He's sitting pretty in the polls at about 55, 60% almost. And the other side of the coin is that the Republicans are still fighting amongst themselves and scattered, and no formidable opponent has arisen.
You know, September 14th, we talk about that date. That was the earliest that lawmakers could get it on the ballot. So now we have election officials scrambling. But is that enough time to really have this special election with integrity?
I think so. I think the election officials actually said that they could pull it off by now. If not, you'd hear them screaming from every mountaintop. The difference in this election, unlike the 2000 recall, every voter is going to get a mailed ballot. So there had to be plenty of time for that to be processed and happen. We still have a few more days left where candidates can file, so anybody can emerge and be put on that ballot. But I think there'll be plenty of time, and voters will have that safely in their mailboxes by the required date.
You know, if Newsom is recalled, there will be that second half of the ballot that Californians will have to fill out, which means who could be the next governor. As you look at that list, we could play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game all we want, but as you look at that list, Kevin Kiley now entering the race, is there a name on there that says they can run the state of California?
No, I mean, there's nobody there that has the kind of name ID, the financial resources to run a campaign, a consolidation of the Republican base to make a formidable run against the governor. I mean, certainly Mayor Faulconer of San Diego is probably the most experienced person on the list, but he's having trouble even rounding up Republicans to get behind him, which, as you saw, Assemblymember Kiley got in the race this week. A little known name from a Republican district in the state with no real money behind him. But, you know, the Republicans are still fighting amongst themselves instead of consolidating behind one candidate.
I want to finish with this. You know, there is a lawsuit, and we're still awaiting a judge's decision here whether or not that Governor Newsom will be allowed to have his party affiliation next to his name on the ballot. His lawyer admitting in court documents that he simply forgot to put that in there and did not make the deadline, and then asked the Secretary of State if she could, and she said without a court order. Should he be allowed to have it on there?
Well, certainly a flub. But I don't think it really matters that much. I mean, unless you've been living under a very large rock, you know Gavin Newsom is a Democrat, a big D Democrat. I don't think it's going to matter much at all. Remember, the ballot is divided into two. One is a yes-no on recalling the governor, and the other is a long list of candidates that he'll not be on. If it was on that long list, perhaps it would matter more. But if it's only on the front side of the ballot, yes or no, I don't think it's going to matter much.
All right, Stephen Maviglio, we appreciate your time as we get closer to the date. Less than 70 days now.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you.